Hey, how about it, race fans? Richard out of InsideDirtRacing.com and InsideCircleTrack.com, coming at you with another Rich's Ramblings. These have become a little fewer and further between over the last few days because I think I've said before, during the summertime, I have to go away from my usual teaching job and have another job that takes up quite a bit of time. So I'm not able to do as many of these as maybe I'd like. But today's topic, I'm going to talk about the topic of cheating in racing. And I know that a lot of people seem to think there's a lot of that going on. But before we start, you have to distinguish the difference between cheating and playing in the gray area. And you're probably not a competitive race team if you're not playing in the gray area somewhere. What's meant by that is there may not be a specific rule against something that you might be doing as a race team, but maybe it's not. It may not necessarily be illegal, but it may not necessarily be legal either. It's just sort of because it's not addressed. It's in the gray area there somewhere, as opposed to cheating, which is just outright violating a rule. It's in black and white, so that you're getting away with something. You just found a good way to hide it or something like that. But what I was going to say is, just because a team happens to be winning a lot doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating. And I know a lot of people seem to want to think that oh, so and so's winning every other weekend, so they must be cheating. And I've had some I've noticed some things to come up, like whether it's, Ricky Thornton Jr. is winning a lot of races right now, Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Overton, Brandon Shepard. They've all gone through these spells where they've gone on these nice winning streaks, and somebody invariably will get on social media or something to throw out they won't outright accuse many times, but they'll throw out the idea that maybe there's something going on there. To me, that's just insulting to the driver and teams. And I think where a lot of that comes from is there are a lot of fans out there who think that just because so and so is beating my favorite driver, they must be cheating. Because they just don't like the idea that their favorite driver might be getting beaten. Like, for example, after Jonathan Davenport won the Dream earlier this year, there were social media posts where people talked about, oh, he only wins where there's good cell phone reception, implying that somehow they're using some sort of cell phone technology to make adjustments to the car or something like that. Uh, I was in Ricky Thornton Jr.'s pit area at a recent race, and there's some folks were walking by, and I heard somebody make the comment, put the iPhone away or something, put the Apple Watch away, and that kind of thing. So there's that implication that something's going on there. I have, to me, two ideas that would refute both those things. And the first one is there are no secrets in a racing pit area. If you've ever been in a racing pit area, everybody knows everything that's going on. And if somebody was just outright cheating, it would have been told by now because somebody would have gone to a series official or a track official or something like that and said, "Hey, you need to take a look at that car right there." Like, for example, let's cross over to NASCAR. If you watch a NASCAR race and then after the race, people come on social media and say, "Oh, tech's all clear. The top two cars are going back to the R&D center. Plus, the random car is going to be so and so." And then 3 days later, you come to find out that random car had something that NASCAR was looking for. Well, the reason why NASCAR was looking for it is because somebody told them to. And the same thing's true in dirt racing pit areas. If somebody's doing something that's giving them an advantage, everybody knows it. You don't keep those secrets. Everybody sees what's going on. They can put those little curtains over the back of the car all they want to. But everybody knows what's going on because people just can't keep secrets. People just tell things. And then secondly, besides, they would tell an official if they knew what was going on. If somebody was doing something that was giving them that big of a competitive advantage and they didn't want to be a tattletale, they'd be doing it too. they'd be out there. They'd have the same device or the same technology that they feel like was giving somebody else an advantage. They'd also have it. Sometimes people win just because they have a really good setup or it's a really good driver or something like that's going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating. Now sometimes maybe they are, but uh, most of the time I believe those folks get caught because people who cheat tend to get sloppy. And then, like I said, somebody's going to find out about it. Somebody's going to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of smart people in racing, whether it's in dirt racing, NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, whatever. There's some really smart people, and you're just not going to keep tricks hidden away from them for very long. So that's just kind of what I was going to say here. Is that just because you're cheating, just because you're winning, doesn't mean that you're cheating. That could, but my suspicion is that most of the time it doesn't. So. And like I said, this is not necessarily to have to do with Ricky Thornton Jr. Or Jonathan Davenport or Brandon Overton or Brandon Shepard or anybody else who's been on a real nice winning streak. The people are just invariably going to say that oh, there's something illegal going on there. That's why this guy's winning. Sometimes maybe they're just winning because they're excuse me, because they're good. And I think that might be the case right now that Ricky Thornton and Anthony Burrows have just, and the SSI Motorsports team, they've just hit on a really good combination right now. And Thornton won bunches and bunches of modified races, and now he's starting to win bunches of late model races. That's just the way it goes, I think. And the same thing's true of Davenport or Overton or Shepard or anybody else who goes on a nice winning streak. They're just talented drivers, and they have talented crew guys. And sometimes it just works out. And if they were doing something they're not supposed to be doing, I believe it would have been caught by now. Or somebody else would be doing it too and would have leveled the playing field by now. But anyway, so those are just my thoughts. This is Richard Allen of InsideDirtRacing.com. Certainly, Michael Moats and myself, we appreciate the fact that you take the time to look at our site. And not only that, but the InsideCircleTrack.com as well, for where we do some pavement and NASCAR stuff on there. So we appreciate you taking the time to give us the view. And as always, I'll see you at the track.